Hey everyone, welcome to the KEMPIRE Daily and the KEMPIRE Radio YouTube channels. I wanted to talk about tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I want to talk about Married to Medicine. I was just watching it live with you guys on my TikTok. Uh-oh. And I want to talk about Married to Medicine. Let me turn this off in the background. Okay, there we go. Hold on. I am posting the link for you guys to call in if you would like to join the conversation. It's been pinned on the KEMPIRE Daily YouTube channels. Let me see. So I want to talk about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. But before we get into that, I just want to make sure we give people time to get into the chat rooms. Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly and that everything's working on your end. All right, just make sure my mic is good. All right. Tonight's episode, I feel like The Real Housewives of Atlanta is picking up. I have to say, maybe they should have started from Strippergate. I don't know. I think that's where they should have started from. Let me see. Let me just give people a few minutes to get in. Again, please feel free to share the link to watch tonight's recap. I'm calling it the real recap of some of our favorite shows that happens on Sunday night, including The Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Married to Medicine episode. I am fully back into Married to Medicine. And there's not I don't feel like tonight's episode was really amazing, but I do have a few thoughts in regards to Married to Medicine. And if you have thoughts, please feel free, hit the link. I've posted it in the chat. I want to hear from you guys. Let me post it again so everyone can be a part of the conversation. Hey, Gabrielle, just allowing more people to get into the chat. I want to talk about Cynthia Bailey's wedding. If you have thoughts on Cynthia Bailey's wedding, please feel free to call in. I'm going to share my quick thoughts, but I did want to let you guys know I posted about Kirk Franklin's son last night, and that video has blown up. Everyone has been sharing their feedback in regards to what they think about Kirk Franklin. He has since released his own video statement. We also played that on our live last night. If you missed that, be sure to check out our YouTube channel on KEMPIRE Daily and KEMPIRE Radio. The video is available on both channels. And share your thoughts there, what you think about this particular situation. I feel like there's still a lot of information that we don't know about in regards to what's really happening in Kirk Franklin's life. Look, I understand he's from the church, but at the same time, I wasn't judging him for the way that he spoke to his son. But at the same time, we didn't hear the full conversation. We don't know what exactly happened. But I don't know. Everyone has a lot of opinions, and especially the way that a lot of us were grown up, we're very used to hearing our parents speak to us in certain types of ways. But I'm telling you, outside of the Black community, if someone was to hear that audio, they would be a little disturbed. I'm just saying. Hey, Robin, shout out to you guys for everyone that is watching. Again, I've posted a link if you want to call in and share your thoughts on tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. I was just sharing that I was talking a little bit about last night. I went live abruptly, and this is why I always say, be sure to hit that notification bell so that everyone is notified when we go live. Because last night I wasn't expecting to go live on my YouTube channels or my Facebook page, and we did. And there was a breaking story. Actually, it wasn't breaking because I don't know how this went under my radar for so long about the Kirk Franklin story. He had actually posted that over 13 hours before we went live, his son. So, but I think people were just slowly picking up the story. And then, of course, Kirk Franklin released a statement saying that there has been a toxic relationship that he's had with his son. And they've also had a very strained relationship over the years. Kirk Franklin's daughter came out and said that she's going to go to war for her father. Look, I know I come from a big family. I have siblings, and I can see one sibling feeling one way and another sibling feeling another way. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Let's just see. Gabrielle says, I got my butt cut, of course, but it was never excessive. And again, I was never cursed out. So I don't understand discipline your child by degrading them. And everyone has a different experience. If you want to see some of the comments, check out my video on the Kirk Franklin and his son story on here on YouTube or on my TikTok, because the comments vary. And a lot of the comments are saying like, oh, that was nothing. His son is disrespectful. At the same time, I can't say that his son was disrespectful because I don't know what transpired beforehand. I don't know how long this hurt has been going on. This is the first time we've even heard a story from Kirk Franklin's son that I know of that's made it to the blogs. So I just found that hard to believe. I don't know, but what can you do? What can you do? But as I said to you before, if you missed out on that story, I posted the video last night. It is available on my channel. Please feel free to check that out. For those that are watching now, be sure to like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Hit that notification bell because you never know when we go live. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Come on, we gotta talk about this wedding. Okay, let me just call up a picture. I want to talk about this new episode of Atlanta. Excuse me as I get these photos together, y'all. I'm still becoming a pro at this. This is how I want it. Let's talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Cynthia's super spreader wedding. So everyone kept on saying Cynthia did everything that she could. She did everything that she could to make sure that this wedding was safe and that it was, COVID friendly. And that they were following all the guidelines until she said this particular line. She said, we strongly encourage everyone that was attending to get tested. You strongly encouraged? How does that work? I don't know how that works. Not the super spreader wedding. This is what I've been calling it since the beginning of time. And look, I still love Cynthia. I've always loved Cynthia until this story came out. During the wedding, I was saying, you know what? I'm going to get married 11/11/2022. That's my wedding date. Don't be surprised. You never know. But, okay, before we even get to the wedding, they're still talking about the Strippergate situation. There's still a divide in the friendship group. There's still a lot of people blaming Kenya, saying that Kenya leaked the story to Love B. Scott because, Kenya threw herself under the bus last week when she said, if it was B. Scott or if it was TMZ, then maybe they would have heard it from me. And then, of course, Love B. Scott had that exclusives where they named names. Allegedly, Porsha and Tanya were the women that got their peaches cobbled. I think that was funny. Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. When Kenya was on Candy Speak On It last week, she said, when they asked her, why did she even bring this up? She said, I was bored. But at the same time, she knew what we needed for the season, to the point we're still talking about this how many episodes later. So they're still talking about this issue. Shamia rides for Porsha to no end. And I get it. That's her best friend. They did this whole nieces party, which was interesting because Drew and Latoya almost went to head again. And I think they go ahead again at another point. But the whole situation, first, let's rewind a little bit. In this particular nieces party, Porsha in her confessional says that Marlo is gullible and weak. We've known Marlo for quite some time. Marlo has never been gullible or weak. Maybe in regards to Nene in some senses, but even she would give Nene back, the business. So I don't agree with Porsha with that. I think Portia's just mad that there is a friendship there. Remember, Cynthia is the one that brought Marlo to Kenya's room when they were in South Carolina. She was trying to mend those fences. It wasn't the other way around. So I don't think it really was in Kenya's mind trying to plot a friendship with Marlo. She probably didn't even realize that that would even happen. Gabrielle says I am over Strippergate. Data says, I still can't get with Eva's penis. We're talking about the wedding. I don't know what Eva was thinking, but we'll get to the wedding in just a second. So at this niece's party, in the confessional, Porsha makes those accusations against Marlo. She thinks that Marlo, when they were on social media and everyone was saying it wasn't me, even Latoya said it wasn't me. Look, they wanted to make sure that everyone knew it wasn't them. I probably would have done the same thing. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about in regards to the niece's party, the drama between Drew and Latoya. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see their dynamic, but to see Drew try to turn up and act like she's hard, it's just sort of like, it's not believable. And then when her comeback to Latoya forever, how about Latoya never, never? Why does she, I wish I had sound effects. Play the crickets, please. That to me made no sense. Anyone else? I feel like I want to like Drew because she is my Taurus sister. The same way that I love my Candy. But I can't love her because to me, she's so corny. She is so corny to me. Latoya never, never? No, girl, sit down. Okay, can we just talk about when Latoya took off her shirt and she had the tape? Girls, you have to tell me, is that just to keep her bosom up? Because I was like, whoa, what's happening here? What's happening here? We saw a lot of breasts in this episode because then Marlo's was sitting up high. I was very impressed with Marlo's situation. I was like, okay, Marlo. And I liked the little truth or dare game that they were playing because the nieces, that's what they do. Girls just want to have fun. I thought they were going to have some more fun in this particular episode. It was kind of tame. It was tame in comparison to the Bolo episode, but I'm okay with that. Gabrielle says, I love Drew. Gabrielle, why do you love Drew? I don't understand. I don't get it. But you're not the first person to say that. I've seen countless comments of people saying that they love Drew. I'm not impressed by Drew. I don't know what it was. Gabrielle reveals, Latoya says to keep her together. Yes. Okay. So it's to keep things in place. All right. I'm not that in love with Latoya either. I've turned a page when it comes to Latoya, and Latoya in a future episode comes to head with Kenya. Sidebar, the preview of Kenya in the Indian garb, I was like, did Kenya not get the memo? That's problematic and shouldn't be happening in 2021 or 2020 or ever, but definitely not now. That was just my thought. For those that are just joining us, please feel free to, don't forget to smash the like button. Also, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscription tab and hit that notification bell so you never miss out when we go live. I went live last night. I went live. Let me take a sip. Look, let me take a sip. This is water, y'all. Oh, yes. Okay. So the niece's party to me was lame. There was a little fight between Drew and Latoya. I don't think they will ever get along. Do you guys think that Latoya will come back next year? I don't know. I don't mind Latoya, but I'm not sold on her. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened on the show and off the show that made me kind of like, because she is trying to ride a fence when it comes to being friends with the other girls and being friends with Kenya. I think she should just lean into her friendship with Kenya and not try to be friends with Porsha and everyone else. Honestly, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat room. Gabrielle says, I think she does well on the show. Her home life and her, I'm going to say what I got to say, personality works well. This is true. Data says, Porsha knows Marlo has had some ish about Kenya, but now that they're friends, Marlo's acting different. It's not like Porsha can use what was said off camera, so I understand Porsha's frustration. Okay, I can see that. I could possibly see that. Honestly, but I still feel like I'm happy to see Marlo and Kenya back together as friends. I don't like to see Kenya out there on her own. Look, I'm a softie when it comes to Kenya because, look, I like the fact that she's producing a show, but you can't forget that Kenya's mother rejected her. Before she even knew she had a mother, her mother rejected her and continues to reject her. She has no relationship with her mother. And as everyone that has a mother knows, that's like such an important dynamic relationship for your psyche. So I got a soft spot for Kenya. I got a soft spot for her. But what else happened in this episode? So the niece's party, that ends the way that it ends. We are preparing for Cynthia's wedding. Drew was supposed to perform at the wedding, but apparently she has a sore throat. She can't perform despite all the preparation of all of that, and she still was not ready for the wedding day. What a disappointment. Even though I think Drew has a beautiful voice, but come on, really? You couldn't sing the day of? Okay. But she was there. She was at the wedding. She was actually at the wedding. Can we talk a little bit about the wedding? For those that are just joining us, the Cynthia Super Spreader wedding, as I said to you before, Cynthia said that, she tried everything that she could to make sure that this was a COVID-safe environment. She said, though, that she encouraged everyone to get tested. So that means not everyone at this party was tested. Yes, they made it a note to show people in masks. However, that's not a guarantee because people have to eat. And those plastic masks and then no mask under it, those aren't COVID friendly. Yes, it's good if you've been tested. It's a nice little barrier in addition to a mask, but that's not 100%. Look, but they're in Georgia. And you may recall that how many people were at Cynthia's wedding? She definitely had almost 200 people at her wedding or more. Let's see. Gabrielle says, at 50, though, at some point, your healing becomes your responsibility. Everyone goes through things, and abandonment, that doesn't mean you need to be a terrible person. I knew this comment was coming, and I understand what you guys are saying about Kenya. She's referring to Kenya and what I said about Kenya. But as I've said multiple times before in regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Kenya, she needs to be in therapy. I hope that she's really getting therapy off of the show as well, because I think that is so important. Data says, I will never like Ken. I was actually shocked when I posted a recap last week in regards to this episode and the interview that Kenya did with Candy on Speak On It. There were a lot of people that were defending Kenya, and I was actually surprised by that because I'm used to the Kenya hate. And when I was live on another person's channel, they said I'm Kenya's publicist. I'm really not. I just know that Kenya brings a lot to the franchise. Just saying. Just saying. My God. Y'all love calling her Ken. Ken should have got counseling for her invisible mother issues before Casper husband issues. You know what? I can't. Dana, you're so shady. Okay, let's talk about this wedding. The wedding, everyone looked amazing. I still stand by that. My girl, let me put up my picture of my favorite look from the wedding. I'm just going to put up my favorite look from the wedding because she's gorgeous and she deserves a moment. She deserves this moment. Porsha looked amazing. She was the best dressed at Cynthia's wedding, even more than the bride. Let the truth be told. She looked gorgeous. Look, I have more pictures. Hold on. I got more. You guys want the full. I know you guys want the full. Let me give you the full moment. This is our girl, Porsha, serving it at Cynthia's wedding. Gorgeous. The dress, the hair, the makeup. She killed it. I loved it. Anyways, so the super spreader wedding, it was beautiful. As you know, Bravo did not film it themselves. Cynthia made sure that she hired a professional production crew to capture every moment. So we did get a little bit, and Bravo added their own little, moments of edits and, oh, there goes Dennis. And, they did what they could to make it a part of the show. So we did get our second wedding from Cynthia. She's the only housewife that's had 2 weddings in the franchise, right? From what I recall. Congratulations to Cynthia. I was really disappointed when I heard that you encouraged people to get tested. So it really wasn't 100% safe. Did not like that. You really could have had a really simple, beautiful wedding. All those people at your wedding weren't necessarily your closest and dearest, because I saw a few of those people in there that you just met. But I'm happy that everyone turned out okay and that no one ended up sick from it or dying. Just saying, look, that's the reality. We're in a pandemic, y'all. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we're not in a pandemic. And there were a lot of things, a lot of hiccups in Cynthia's wedding. But I do want Cynthia to be happy. I want Cynthia and Mike to be happy. What the hell was going on with Mike's jacket, though? I've been waiting so long to talk about Mike and that damn jacket. I was like, what is he wearing? What gaudy mess is this? It's all right, though. It's all right. You know, I'm sure he felt like he was a temptation or something. But I was like, oof. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Robin says, Sheree was there. Eva was there. Claudia was there as well. Yes. Porsha killed everyone. I mean, Porsha really crushed everyone's soul. She was just gorgeous. And at the same time, Peter and Nene were in town party. The shade data. And lays down with sloppy Dennis. Yeah, there's a moment. I want to get to that moment in a second. The wedding. I just want to say this. Congratulations to Cynthia. Now that we have the wedding over, we can get back to what's more important. The other dramas that are going on in the group. And one of the other dramas that's going on in the group is Porsha and her relationship with Dennis. And I've said this multiple times. I am not interested in Porsha's storyline with Dennis. I never have been. I'm happy for Porsha. I'm happy that she, was able to have a child. She's always wanted to have a child since she's been on the show. So I was happy that she was able to have PJ. And there seemed to be a genuine love between her and Dennis. And I have to say, during this meeting, it was very uncomfortable to watch because Porsha really gives us a real moment. And this is why Porsha has so many layers to her. She gives us funny moments. She gives us vulnerable moments. And she gives us shady moments. I'm still having an issue with Porsha owning her sexuality, but not just her sexuality, but owning her freaky side. I'm like, Porsha, just embrace that. Like, I don't understand why you don't embrace it. I feel like she gives us a little and then she hides. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. But there was a vulnerable moment that she had with Dennis because I think at this conversation was something that it was sort of like a final conversation. And I don't know if it was planned that way or if this really was that final conversation. But one of the things that she said that annoyed her was after the whole Strippergate situation came out, you may recall on social media, both of them made it clear that they were single. But he was the first one to, put out there that he was single AF. But this says to me that they were in limbo. And I said this before in regards to their relationship. Their relationship wasn't completely done or over. Yes, maybe they weren't together. Maybe they weren't fully engaged, but it wasn't completely done. So there's something fishy there. There's something fishy there. Let me see what you guys will say. Porsha ain't with Dennis. She won't take that man until his mother. Oh, God. You know what, Data? I can't. Gabrielle says, I'm not a fan of the leprechaun. Y'all are some shady motherfuckers. But I can appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the feedback. If you watched tonight's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta and you want to call in and share your thoughts, please feel free to call in. I'll be posting the link. And you can call in and share your thoughts. But if there are no thoughts left on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, I want to jump into Married to Medicine. As you may recall, if you've been following my channel for a while, I fell out of Married to Medicine from like season 1. Don't ask me why. I think maybe I just got caught up in a bunch of other stuff. But I was always aware of the dramas that were going on. However, I did miss some dramas from last season, so I've started rewatching last season of Married to Medicine. And in this particular episode, first of all, I've always said this, and I'll say this again. I'm always impressed with a doctor. But I'm even more impressed when we see our Black doctors. And I'm always saying, I just said this when I went to my dermatologist, and there was a Black intern that was, getting ready to go to medical school. And I said, we need more Black doctors. We have a lot of entertainers, we have a lot of sports people, but we need more Black doctors. And I definitely want to encourage that. And that's what I think Married to Medicine does do, because it's so popular. Yes, because of drama that's going on, but you also get to see these people in their careers. And now in the age of a pandemic, we're seeing how important that is. In this new episode, they, of course, rejoined back at Dr. Heavenly's party. And Toya is drunk as, and look, I haven't watched the show in a very long time, but Toya is funny to me. And I like her energy, but she was drunk. She was so drunk. She couldn't help how drunk she was. But the conversation, the biggest issue this season so far seems to be that there is a strain in the friendship between Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie. I don't know where it went wrong, but as I'm watching last season, I'm starting to see what went wrong. And of course, it has to do with Dr. Heavenly. Let me take these people off and put these people up. Oh my goodness. Shout out to everyone in the chat. As always, please feel free to share. Of course, if you've missed what we've talked about, this video will be available on the KEMPIRE Daily and KEMPIRE Radio YouTube channel. We are talking about Married to Medicine. Data says, yes, Black excellence. Data's like, they're not together, but they hang out. So it's very confusing. I think you're talking about Porsha and Dennis. So yes, Married to Medicine. We were watching this live on my TikTok. If you're not following me on my TikTok, at TheKempire, every once in a while, we watch some of these reality shows together and I share some commentary. And I was watching this last episode. As I said before, they rejoined at this party. Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone go at it. And they go at it because they've had conflicts, their husbands, people tweeting on. It's so interesting to me when I see grown people talk about social media and what people are saying on social media. And I'm like, why do you guys allow social media to bother you so much? So much is said on social media that I don't take it serious. I don't take it as serious as these people do. Grown people with kids? Look, let me take a sip. I just don't understand why they take it so seriously. I wouldn't. However, there were things that were said that, okay, I can understand why people are pissed. And Dr. Simone gets in her feelings, but then Dr. Heavenly calls, I can't remember her exact word, but she referred to Dr. Simone as dirty. And I was like, why would you call her dirty? Like, that was the lowest of the low. Like, why would you call Dr. Simone dirty? I actually like Dr. Simone. Is she perfect? No. But I like Dr. Simone. She gives me enough professional, but yet ratchet at the same time. I enjoy that. I enjoy that from her. But at the same time, I feel like Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie are being stubborn in regards to settling their friendship of 20-something years. And one of the things that I said when we were live watching it is that friendships do change. I'm telling you, during this pandemic, there are friendships that have shifted for myself. And I had to make the decision myself, or those friendships would continue being the dysfunction and toxic relationships that they were. And toxic, I know we use that word a lot now, but toxic to me, in definition to me, is anything that does not work for my life anymore. So if you don't work for my life anymore, you're toxic. Be gone. And I feel like that's what Dr. Simone is saying to Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie has chosen Dr. Heavenly over her. And Dr. Simone feels like, we have 20 plus years. Why would you choose Dr. Heavenly over me? And that has happened to me. Look, that has happened to me where I've been, and it's not even about the amount of years, but it's the amount of friendship that I've given to other people. And they don't show the same sort of loyalty. And I'm a Taurus, so I'm loyal to the bone. If I'm your friend, I am your friend to the end. To the end. Oh, we got some friends in. Okay, Audrey says they are both stubborn, but Jackie is dead wrong, in my opinion. A lot of people have been telling me that they changed how they felt about Dr. Jackie last season. And that's why I said, okay, I need to watch last season because I've always liked Dr. Jackie. I've loved Dr. Jackie in interviews. I think she's such a smart woman. Is she the most interesting? Not necessarily, but I think she's a good mix for this group. And she's, she's one of the go-to OBGYNs in Atlanta. Like, everybody's going to Dr. Jackie to deliver her babies. I'm just saying. Gabrielle says, Dr. Heavenly always goes low. Can we normalize that dentists are real doctors? I don't like that. I see, it's not just them. I think in the real world, people try to downgrade what dentists do. Dentists and your dental health are critical to your heart health, are critical to your situation. It's critical to your relationships, because if you're not taking care of your teeth, you're not going to be in a relationship, which is not true, because I've seen some people with jacked up teeth that are in relationships. All right, I take that back. But I've always taken my teeth very seriously, and I don't like how they downplay what Dr. Heavenly does. And I feel like it's important. Even our government didn't take dentistry important. Dentists were closed for a long time, even though that's an important element of people's health. But I don't know. Yeah, everybody does go to Dr. Jackie. I feel like everybody. Candy went to Dr. Jackie. I mean, there's quite a few, Atlanta socialites that have gone to Dr. Jackie for pregnancy. And I heard Dr. Jackie is about to launch a company for surrogacy and things like that. I like Dr. Jackie. And I like when she was talking about, she was promoting her book and she was talking about the thing. Mind you, I'm a gay man. Nothing that she was talking about relates to my life at all. But I was just sort of like, oh, she's really cool. Like she knows a lot of stuff. And I would love to pick her brain. I would love to have her come on the podcast and talk about these things, because I have a large female audience. I know the good majority. Sorry, Data, I know you're not. But there's a large Black female audience that follow, my conversations and my lives and things like that. I would love to have her on the show and to, talk about those things. I like Dr. Jackie. However, Dr. Jackie choosing Dr. Heavenly over her 20-plus relationship with Dr. Simone says something to me. However, just because we see Dr. Simone one way on TV doesn't mean that's the type of friend she really is off of TV. So I'm a little bit suspect of Dr. Simone in that regard. But at the same time, you could still have a friendship with someone and not completely cut them out of your life. When they were having the tailgate party for Dr. Simone's son, Dr. Jackie should have been there. You've known this kid before he was even born. So you should be there. You should be a part of that. Can we talk about Dr. Heavenly's veneers that don't fit her mouth, but I'm supposed to trust her with my teeth? Hard pass. Okay. One thing I got to say, and this is a side note to Bell Collective. We haven't talked about Bell Collective before. I'm happy what OWN is doing. I'm happy what Carlos King is doing with highlighting these Black families and couples and women in the South. The dentist, Antoinette, down there, look, when she says she was dentist, the first thing I looked at was her teeth. So if you're a dentist, you need to make sure that your teeth are on point. I'm just saying. That was just my thought. Robin says, Dr. Jackie, she delivered the boy and you didn't invite her. Dr. Simone, you didn't invite her to his graduation party. That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's so much more going on in regards to the relationship between Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone that they're not telling us. It kind of reminds me of what went on between Bethany and Carol in The Real Housewives of New York. However, Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone have 20 plus years of friendship. That's the difference. And we're still not really understanding why, after they made up during the reunion, they didn't just connect again. Like, why didn't you guys connect again? What was that missing element? I don't know. Can we talk a little bit about Contessa? I know Contessa's feeling a little guilty about going away to get education. I like Contessa. I like her drive. I do like the fact that she's been the bodyguard and the bouncer in multiple fights, and she says she's tired of it. But I think Contessa is partially because you're taller than most of the women. I think that's what it is. It is what it is. But I like Contessa, and I do think it was a little weird when her husband said he doesn't want to continue going to counseling, but he wants to continue working on the relationship. Not to say that you can't, but I don't know how you're going to be productive if you're having real issues in your relationship and not have a third party help you make the right steps to make that work. I just don't feel like, and that might be that whole mentality in his head, being a doctor, we can fix this ourselves. We're smart enough to do that. But I think it is great to go to therapy. And I think it'd be a great thing to see a Black couple go to therapy on television and really work through those issues and resolve those issues. Audrey says Contessa has positioned herself to be the bouncer. That's her fault. That's true. She does jump up in the middle. Well, it is what it is. I am still on the fence about Contessa. I'm not sure how I feel about her. I'm not sure if I'd like her or not, but I do like her drive. I do like the goals that she has for herself. And I like that her and her husband are going to be launching this practice together. I'm a strong believer, especially now more than ever, we are able to own our own businesses and be successful. It's just a lot easier than it is when I first started doing KEMPIRE Radio and trying to launch my own business. We've come such a long way in regards to the access that we have as entrepreneurs. So I like to see that these two amazing doctors are about to launch their own practice in Georgia. Kudos to them. Can we talk about this new lady? And guys, let me know who. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Which is she's the new Indian woman that's been added to the cast of Married to Medicine. I keep forgetting her name. She's new. Oh Lord, Data says Contessa and her has-been can go. I can't stand them. Wow. Gabrielle says Bethany is garbage. Well, especially after this week and the whole Meghan Markle situation, I can't defend her. Anijah, let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. I forgot her name too. This is a mess. Contessa should not feel guilty. I'm sorry, men do it all the time. Gabrielle, I like that. I like that you said that because you're right. She shouldn't feel as guilty. They say she's a blogger. Yes, let's talk about Anijah. I'm gonna think it's Anijah. I like her. I like the friendship that she naturally has with Toya. They've been friends even before the show. So I'm liking what I'm seeing in regards to that friendship. I'm not sure if I will continue to like her. I think there's an interesting dynamic that we're getting. Again, we're seeing another person of color that is a doctor on the show. Her husband is definitely he's like a nerd, and she's sort of like the cool girl, pretty girl. But look, in life, balance. But I think her and Toya are going to turn up in ways that we will enjoy watching them turn up, especially because they're both not doctors. They're the housewives, so they can, hang out together, do things together, have fun together, drink together. Data revealed to me that Toya's house before the season started is for sale. They just moved into this house. Why would it be for sale already? Like, that's so weird to me, especially when you've built up a house and you made it to your liking. Maybe it's the neighbors. She talked about in this episode, the school didn't really support, the Black Lives Matter movement. There really wasn't a lot of Black people at the school. So maybe that's the element, and that's why they want to move. I can see why someone would want to move because of that. Even if you have your oasis, like myself, I built a beautiful home and, I've made it home. But then outside of it, I'm like, I don't know if I really love this neighborhood, though. I don't know if I really love these people. It happens. It happens. And you got to figure that out. It's a beautiful home, though. Has anyone seen her blog? I have never seen her blog. Toya has annoyed me since season 1. I can see where people wouldn't like Toya. I can see that. But there's something about Toya that I like in the group. And I said when I was live, I kind of miss Mariah. Anyone miss Mariah? I know she's messy and I know she's divisive, but I kind of miss Mariah. We're going to get a little bit of Quad next week. Quad is going to be, I guess, in this world, friend of. It's going to be interesting. It was an interesting episode. I'm here for it. I'm excited to see what's to come. It looks like a lot is to come for Married to Medicine this season. Let me just read some of the comments before we're done for the night. Toy is needed for the show, but not for my nerves. Nicole Jackson says Toya's house was only put up to see if it would sell, but that's still her house. Thank you, Nicole. See, this is why I love you guys, because you give me all kinds of information. Last night when we were live talking about the Kirk Franklin story, people let me know, oh, Kirk Franklin had shared some updated information and an apology. Look, I rely on you. I can't be everywhere and know everything. So I appreciate that. So they were just testing out the market. First of all, a bunch of them have really beautiful homes. One of the other things people were talking about was Dr. Jackie and her husband's lack of chemistry. Let me just say this. I think that Dr. Jackie and her husband may not have chemistry on screen, but behind the scenes, they possibly could. I think there's just certain people, even I know after 8 seasons, you'd think they would be able to get over that. Maybe, look, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Maybe they're just not good for TV and showing that affection on TV. They've been together a long time. I know they had some trouble. I know the tea, but at the same time, I'm just like, Curtis reminds me of someone I know that was a philandering man. Like he looks like this man. Audrey says, Curtis ain't going anywhere. Audrey also said that she misses Quad. I saw a lot of people in the Robin says, I miss Quad. But you know, it's so funny though. I've seen people comment and say that they didn't like Quad. I like Quad because she's funny. I think Quad she has funny lines, funny energy. The episode that I'm on from last season right now is when she meets with Dr. Simone and she brings up the past. And I was like, Quad, why? Like, I thought you were all putting that to the side. I thought you were moving on. I'm interested to see how the rest of the season goes. I'm rewatching last season, as I said to you before. I'm jumping back into Married to Medicine. We just watched it live on my TikTok. And look, I'm going to try and go live, Sunday evenings to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. If you have thoughts, as always, share your thoughts in the comments, your favorite moments from the Real Housewives of Atlanta or Married to Medicine. Or if you disagree with anything that I said, shade the hell out of me in the comments. I'm okay with that. Different opinions make the world go round. I appreciate everyone being here tonight. As always, don't forget to like, comment, share, go to your Twitter, go to your Facebook, share this video so the rest of your family can shade me too. It's all right. It's all right. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Happy Sunday and have a great night. Thanks to everyone for that tuned in and watched with me tonight. Let me just see some of the comments before we go. When Quad and Mariah started to go low with their digs, I couldn't watch anymore. That was one of the things I didn't love. This whole drug accusation that Quad had against Mariah. I was like, when it gets to that place, that's a little dark. It's a little dark. Anyone else bothered by that? Audrey says, I have enjoyed Quad since season 2. She was too much in season 1. Maybe that's my problem with Quad, because I remember her from season 1. But I've heard mixed things about Quad. Some people in these comments like Quad, some people do not. But I'm interested to see what Quad brings from last season while I'm watching that. And then it would be interesting to see what she brings this season. I wonder why they decided to just sort of bring her as a friend of. I know she's no longer married to her doctor, but she still was an important part of the show. Maybe there's stuff that she didn't want to share. I don't know who makes those decisions. I was bothered by the drug accusations too. Yeah, like that made me uncomfortable to watch. Did their talk show get canceled? The talk show, Sister Circle, I've shared my thoughts, and I'll share my thoughts again before I call it a night. Sister Circle was not necessarily canceled. It wasn't picked up. So technically it was canceled. I think the production company or something folded. I can't remember the specific details, but it wasn't necessarily canceled. But the production company and TV One, something happened with that. Look, I wasn't sad to see it go. I felt like Sister Circle, it was a great idea with amateurs hosting it. Sorry. I'm sorry I had to say it. But a lot of people thought the same as I did. There were a lot of issues, and some people, who I did like, who I've interviewed before, Selena Johnson. You see Selena Johnson on Fox Soul for Cocktails with Queens. She's good. She's good on there. But a few of the ladies that were on the show, I just was like, this is really like amateur hour. I don't like, it's a great idea. It's the same thing that they're trying to do with The Real. The Real too is sort of like amateur hour. These women that are great in what they used to do, acting, music, whatever, comedy, but interviewing and talking hot topics, not everyone can do it and do it well. Just saying. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Data, look, so I'm not out here by myself. Data said, yeah, it was whack. Or just said, don't cover your face after speaking the truth. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys being here, joining in the conversation as always. Don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment if you disagree with anything that I said about the Real Housewives of Atlanta or Married to Medicine. Leave a comment. Let me know. I will be responding and I will be reading. And also, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out when I go live. I went live at midnight last night. You don't want to miss breaking news. And you don't want to miss these after shows that I do. Instead of watching Watch What Happens Live, watch me. I'm more interesting anyway. And maybe we'll start to get some of the Housewives and Married to Medicine ladies on here with me. Let's work on that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Be well. Stay well. Now get out of my face. Don't play. Have a great night, y'all.